Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. A very good evening, viewers. You are watching Voice of Toronto Television with me, Anjum Malik, and I hope everybody is doing well. उम्मीद है आप सब ठीक होंगे और आज थर्सडे है एंड आज का जो प्रोग्राम है उसको शुरू करने से पहले इम्पोर्टेंटली ये कि अगर आप हमारी नशरियात देख रहे हैं डिजिटल चैनल्स पे आईपी चैनल्स पे जहाँ जहाँ पे भी इफ़ यू लाइक टू बी अ पार्ट ऑफ दिस प्रोग्राम हमारे स्टूडियोज़ के लाइन के नंबर जो है वो हमेशा हमारे स्क्रीन पर रहते हैं which is 5199235220 और उस पर कॉल करके यू कैन बी अ पार्ट ऑफ दिस प्रोग्राम। जैसे आपको इल्म है कि मैंने कल अपने शो में जिक्र किया था कि वी गोना बी टॉकिंग अबाउट द म्यूनसिपल इलेक्शंस और उस हवाले से गाय बगाए वी बिन गेटिंग लॉट ऑफ कैंडिडेट्स। वी हैड कैरोलिन पैरिश फ्राम मिसिसागा, वी हैड केविन एश फ्राम पिकरिंग, we had Samira Ali from Milton, and today I have requested the current mayor, Mayor Gordon Krantz, to be part of the program, as he has put in his name for a mayoral candidate to run again. But importantly, ये कि during the program आपको कोई भी क्वेश्चन हो, अगर आप मिल्टन में रहते हैं और आप उस राइडिंग में रहते हैं, किसी वार्ड में 1, 2, 3, 4 में 4 वार्ड्स हैं वहाँ पर, आप किसी वार्ड में भी रहते हैं, you can give us a call, ask a question from the mayor also. He is a mayoral candidate. He's putting his name forward again to run for the 22nd time, as a matter of fact. I was going through, it's an amazing, the legacy that he has all these years. From 1965 to 1980, he was kind of a counselor in Milton. And from 1980 on, he has become a mayor. And he's almost 88 years old, very energetic. He has been on my shows in the past, and the last election he ran, he was in our studios. And I have requested him again to come to our studios today to talk about his last 4 years, his journey into all this over the so many years that he had, and all the work he has been doing all along for so many years in this town of Milton. And just to name a few, there's a lot of stuff that he has been doing, but I thought I'll just give you a little bit of rundown that from 1980 onwards, he has been continuously winning the elections, and he has been the mayor of town of Milton. When he started as a councillor, the population of Milton was only 5,000 people. And today, as we talk in 2026, it's 150,000 almost, around that sign. And so much has been done over this last so many years. Particularly, there is so much credit that he has building this town of Milton into where it is today. From restoration of the town halls, the leisure center, the 401 industrial park, the Rotary Park, the Center of the Arts, the Sports Center, and there's so much that we can talk about. And I thought it would be a great idea that I will chat with him tonight and discuss with him his journey that he want to continue. I don't think he is going to retire at this point, because he's putting his name forward again to run for the mayor of Milton again. At this time, there are about 7 candidates, mayoral candidates, that they have put in their name forward that they want to run for the mayor, and some of them are in his caucus already. Some of them are new faces into the town of Milton. So it's going to be a very interesting race to see what will happen. And I'm sure that all these years that he has been serving the community with dignity and the energy he has. Every time I see him, I talk to him, I learned so much about him, and it's an amazing that at this age of 88, and he's going to be turning 89 very soon, that he has so much energy to do this job, which he loves. And I'm sure he's not there for anything else than serving the community of Milton. So let me see if he's there. So we will have a chat with him tonight, and especially in detail, and we'll talk, and we'll find out that what his plans are for the next 4 years if he does become elected and run the city again the 22nd time. Is he with us?
And it's Gordon Krantz here too. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Mayor Gordon. How are you today?
Not too bad, thank you. And I was listening to your run up to you and I getting together. So it only seemed like 4 years ago that you and I were doing the exact same thing, but in your studio. So once again, thanks very much for having
I, I
me on your.
really, I really, yeah, I really appreciate that. This was actually the last 4 years ago when you were in my studios, Mr. Gordon, twice, uh, before election and after the winning the election. We had cut the cake together, if you remember.
I certainly do. Yeah. One thing I still have is a pretty sharp memory and a pretty sharp tongue.
Mr. Mayor, I want to honestly, first of all, give you a heads up, congratulate you for so much energy that you have. Over the last 60 years, you've been in politics. Now, before we're going to go into details and all that stuff, what is the legacy you want to leave behind? When you do retire, from this job that you love so dearly.
Well, oddly enough, when you ask that, I'm really honestly not looking for to leave any legacy. History will write itself as to how well I done or how well I didn't do. So, history will, write the end clause at the end of it. So,
Hmm.
and the odd part of it is, as you're well aware, I'm now the longest serving mayor of a major municipality in Canada. Was
Yeah.
that part of my original bucket list? It honestly was not. But there's an old saying, que sera, sera, whatever be will be. And that's the way that I, face, my life and the way that I face, what happens in Milton. And of course, not only am I the mayor of the town of Milton, but I'm also a regional councillor. So I do have responsibilities for City of Burlington, Town of Oakville, and the Town of Halton Hills. So, and I take my responsibilities very, very serious.
Well, I'm sure you're doing that. That's why you've been chosen to be run, again, like so many times in the last 21 terms that you have run for election. And I'm sure you must be doing something phenomenal that the residents and the ward people who live in that riding, they must be very happy with your performances. Now, one of the things very important, Mr. Mayor, is that the accountability stands out, for any politician when they are in politics. Now, I wanted to ask you, very candidly about few things. Now,
Yes.
in my last conversation with you 4 years ago at the studios when you were there, we did talk about your journey and your elections and all the stuff that you have been doing. But what I wanted to know from you today is that where you were 4 years ago and where you are today after 4 years, and we're going into October 26th election. What are some of the things that you have talked about at that time that you wanted to complete? Now, there was the university, there was digging in for university in the grounds, a lot of other projects that were on the go. Let's talk a little bit about that for our viewers who are watching you tonight. That what is in the pipeline, what has been completed so far, how instrumental this has been in the last 4 years, and what do you think, going forward, what are some of the projects that are on the table in the caucus with your town of Milton that you want to complete if given an opportunity for you to be elected again as the mayor of town of Milton?
Yeah. Well, let me, and put a positive spin on it. It's not if I'm elected, it's about when I'm elected. Okay.
Yeah.
The power of positive thinking has never, ever let me down. You touched on the colleges and universities. And of course, they already have a presence. And I think, and I stand corrected on this, 4 years ago, they had a very minimal presence, but their presence is even greater now. But there's still a lot more to do because, as you're probably well aware, the province had cut back on some of the support, of course, for colleges and universities. So that's
Hmm.
affected it a bit. As an example, and you're probably well aware of it, immigration has a huge effect on colleges and universities because they depend on immigration. And a person that from another country, he or she pays a fair bit more to enroll. So that's definitely affected what's happening here, but it's moving ahead. So that's still on my priority list to make sure that all of that happens. There's already lands already set aside. There's lands already dedicated to both Laurier and Conestoga College for their presence. And by the way, Conestoga College has already partnered with a nursing home. It's already set up, and the building is almost complete on the grounds right around the velodrome. That, of course, is the very first velodrome in Canada, and it's on the same site, and it's roughly a 450 acre site. So their presence is there. And some of those other challenges, as an example, and I've talked about it, not personally very proud about what has happened in the past 4 years on council. The majority council, I emphasize the majority council, not everyone, including me. There was a property tax increase of approximately 36% over that 4 year period. Now, if you're a math major, it doesn't take much to figure out that that's 9% increase on average per year. And I didn't support any of that because inflation, not only in Ontario, but in Canada, was roughly 3%. So do your math. So inflation was roughly 12%. Milton Council, majority of Milton Council seen fit to put it up without my support, by the way, 36%. So this is something that, hopefully whoever is elected, and me being one of them, has the foresight not to support anything over and above the rate of inflation because we're just headed the wrong way. But that's the majority of council's wish. And of course, you're well aware that there are those strong mayor's power. And of course, I've always said I have no intentions of even being perceived as being a dictator and using strong mayor's power. So that is not in the cards for me.
Mr. Mayor, one of there are a few questions for me to ask you tonight, especially on this show, which is very, very close to the hearts of Miltonians. And the first one is that the government of Canada with the province of, Ontario, they came with an accelerated funding program to build homes, for it's an issue that we have in all the province, in all areas of the province. Now, what sort of development has been gone so far into those projects, and are there any lands available now where the developers can come in, they can build some housing, and it could be supported by your council in a way that there could be affordability available for the younger people to come forward and buy homes, which has become a very, very, a dilemma, with the scenario that we have right now. So, what is the accountability on that part, and where are you on those projects for the housing projects? And then we're going to move forward with the other questions.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I've always been pro-development in the past and will be in the future. Now, when you talk about the accelerating funding, council unanimously, and that included me, did not want to be any part of that. And that was the same at the region of Halton, because at least in my opinion, we've always, when I say we, the region of Halton, we, the town of Milton, those 4 area municipalities have always been pro-growth. So we've had one of the lowest development charges in the Greater Toronto Golden Horseshoe area. So that's the reason why we didn't, take part in that. It wasn't necessary because the development is going to continue in Milton. You had mentioned at the outset that Milton's population now is roughly 150, 160,000 people. I can guarantee you 20 years from now, it'll be close to 300,000 people. Correct. So that is definitely pro-growth, no question about it whatsoever. But I go back to the tax implications. People aren't necessarily moving into Milton because of me. It's because of how the town has been run over the past, number of years, especially since regional government in 1974.
So, what about some subsidized housing? Do you have anything on the table for people who can't afford homes, and the city, the town can come back and they can
No,
do a subsidized housing?
yeah, no, that, by the way, is at the region of Halton level.
Okay.
The town of Milton and Oakville, Burlington, Halton Hills has no say in that. But I can share with you
Mm.
the biggest majority of us elected people at the regional level have supported that. And I don't want to quote any numbers, how many housing units there are in the region of Halton, including in Milton, too, that's supported by the region. So they are very proactive and will be proactive as far as I'm concerned in the future moving ahead, because you are absolutely right. That's a much needed commodity here, not only in the town of Milton and the region of Halton, but across the province of Ontario, and if not, probably across the country.
Now, I have been to Milton a few times, Mr. Mayor, and we have met there also at events,
Yes.
and sometimes I feel that the roads, that the infrastructure, how is the caucus working with you? Is it like my way or a highway, or you are very, when you guys sit on a caucus, you guys talk about things, and is it done in a way that the consensus is developed and the proper voting is done, and then the tenders are passed? Put a little light on that, because I had another
Yeah.
one of your candidates on my show, and she had a little bit of different version of this.
Yeah. Well, of course, I call that good political spin. Of course, in election time, you're always going to get that for sure. That's part of democracy. But as far as I'm concerned, the reason why the people are moving into Milton is because, again, I come back to how well our infrastructure is.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a daily gridlock? No, but is there more traffic in the past 20 years than what there was 20 years ago? Most definitely. That's what happens with a growing community. We've expanded a lot of our regional and town roads, say from 2 lanes to 4 lanes. So we've kept up with a lot of that. Our water and sewer, of course, Milton's connected now with Lake Ontario as it wasn't, 25 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Hydro, Milton owns its own hydro. Hydro is not an issue. So most of those majority of infrastructure things are, here. Now, where we do get a bit of pushback, of course, densities are their order of the day. And I know the province of Ontario and the country is saying, significant municipalities such as the town of Milton have to intensify. And when I talk about intensifying, I'm talking about going up instead of out.
Mm.
So, a lot of people, and I'm well aware of it, I get some of the negative feedback on, saying there should be more and heavier densities, especially around transit routes. And Milton does have, just at this present time, one GO station, but where some of the development is going to happen in the future is going to be out in the area of Derry Road, Britannia Road, Trafalgar Road area. And we know there will be another GO station there. So intensifications in built out areas such as that will be very, very critical. And the main reason for that is, you get the densities, people will use transit, whether it be, GO Transit or we do have our own small transit system here in Milton. So pushing that is high on my priority list as well.
Now, I had the honor of having Carolyn Parrish, the mayor of Mississauga, on my show a couple of weeks ago, and I asked her regarding our senior programs in the city in Mississauga. So, what sort of city program that you run for the seniors? Do they have any benefits riding the transit, and they have some sort of a pass, or is it free transit, or you're thinking of putting something like this for the seniors?
Yeah, it's not free, but it's supported by the town and by the region of Halton there. And again, could it be better with regards to some of the activities with seniors? Yes, I'd be the first one to admit that. But there's two very active seniors programs, or I should call them individual, that's run by seniors clubs. But the town of Milton does have, one senior center that's quite,
Mm-hmm.
actively used by the community and mostly by seniors. So we have dedicated staff just looking after seniors and seniors programs.
Okay, okay. So,
And
so,
maybe
so,
at some
so
point I should
presently, So presently,
interesting.
if a senior rides one of the transit, how much they have to pay?
I am not sure just on the amount, but I do know that it's subsidized. I'm well aware of that.
And there is a
So,
Presto kind of a card, similarly like they have in Mississauga.
no, I'm not so sure if a
Okay,
Presto card is available. I'm not sure of that, but I do know that it is subsidized for seniors. To
okay,
what degree,
okay,
I can't tell you right off, but it
okay.
is subsidized.
All right, all right. I mean, this is something that you should look into this. I mean, because
Yeah,
seniors,
I'm very supportive of that. And and the funny
I'm
thing of
sure,
it is too, I'm a senior as well, as you know.
of course.
But many of us seniors are reasonably well off, believe it or not. So
Mm,
I look forward to supporting seniors that need it, not every senior that probably doesn't need it. So, and I'm well aware of that.
mhm,
So,
mhm.
it's those seniors that need it that should get the help.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's talk about some of very, very vital issues that the Miltonians are facing. Um, I want you to put a little light on some bylaws, parking enforcements, night parkings. We talk about food banks, some jobs. Let's put a little light on this. I mean, you've been there for last so many years, and you have seen so much, in the city itself, in the town. And what are some of the new reforms in place that you think then will make Miltonian much more safer than they were 5 or 10 years ago from now?
Well, let's use as an example the enforcement that you just talked about. Enforcement, at least in my opinion, could be a little bit better. We have a constant, for whatever reason, turnover of help, getting good help. And of course, the parking issues has been an issue, and council is well aware of that, as I am.
Hmm.
Food banks, can that be improved on? At least in my opinion, it could be and should be. Food banks, of course, Salvation Army and other, religious groups, they're out there working. And of course, and again, you have to understand where some of the jurisdictions come from with regards to social services. Social services is handled at the regional level, and I'm also a regional counselor as well, so I cannot abdicate my responsibility on making sure that people are looked after. So they're very, when I say they, not necessarily the town of Milton, but we're part of the region, is very supportive of those food banks and making contributions there however we can with the taxpayers' dollar. Keeping in mind, you got to make sure you keep an eye on that property tax base because it can get out of hand. And you and I both know that the cost of living right now, food and stuff like that, is
Yeah,
almost out of hand for the average individual.
it is. It is. It is mind-boggling that over 1 million people in Ontario they lean toward food banks every day, and
Well,
it's shocking.
yeah, the odd part of it is, Adam, the region of Halton, the town of Milton, is probably one of the more prosperous communities there is in the country. We did rate at one time, I'm not sure where it is right now, we were one of the top 10, even though Milton is a fairly affluent community, but I can assure you there are people out there that really need the help. And they're not forgotten as far as I'm concerned, even though Milton is an affluent community.
Mr. Mayor, can you put a little light on the triage times in the hospitals in the town of Milton, how they are running and how efficiently they are serving the Miltonians?
Yeah, I'm the first one to admit that I don't know a lot about it in detail, but I do get some feedback that when you go to the ER, you do have to wait 4 or 5 hours to be seen. And of course, I know other hospitals are longer waits than that, and I'm well aware of that. So, but it is an issue. But of course, if
Hmm.
you want to use compared to other hospitals or other health care in the province of Ontario,
Okay.
I don't have an issue with it.
So you think you're satisfied with the working of the hospital?
You can always improve on it. Make no mistake of that. And I talk about, for the most part, the emergency room. That's where the pinch point quite often seems to be the case. Of course, you're probably well. I know the population is well aware. little over a year and a half ago, I lost my wife, and she was in
Oh,
the
sorry to hear
hospital.
that. Our prayers are
And
with
she
you,
was in
Milton.
the hospital for some time in the care, and it wasn't necessarily because it was the mayor's wife. And I was out there often, and I seen the care that was given not only to my wife, my late wife, but also to everybody else that was there. So I have no issues with Milton Hospital, and not totally familiar with the Oakville and Georgetown Hospital, but from what I understand, they're run efficiently well as well.
Right. So I just, in my opening statement, I talked about some of your last so many years of working in the town of Milton with so many projects on the go, with the Center of Arts, the Sports Center, the Rotary Park. Now, what are some of the new projects you think that they are in the pipeline, or that you've been working on, or the caucus is working on, and the Miltonian needs to know what is forthcoming?
Well, there's still a great deal of emphasis, as far as I'm concerned, on and I refer to it still as the industrial commercial business park end of it. We've done very, very well. And of course, it's those businesses that really pay the freight, as I refer to it. And I'm talking about significant tax dollars. So this is where a lot of my emphasis not only has been, but will be in the next 4 years, is on that. And keeping up with structure as well, whether it be expansion of roads, water, sewer, stormwater, sewer. And of course, one of the things that, of course, we're dealing with now, and of course, it makes the news quite often, is these mega centers that's attempting to locate in municipalities that can be really tough on water and hydro. And I do know that there was a company looking at Milton back a couple of years ago. We didn't encourage, we didn't discourage, but there's a process, and you hear a lot in the news now about these, I call them mega centers, with regards to the technology that's going to be not only wanted, but needed in this country and globally. So this is an issue that we'll have to make certain that we stay on top of as well.
Have you done any major reforms in the last 4 years in the policing, the way the policing is operating in town of Milton? And
Uh,
are the people are more safe? I mean, there have been, carjacking and break-ins and some, murders also in your area. So, what do you think about that, and how your team is working with the police department, and what other reforms are in place?
yeah, well, it's statistics that's proven that Halton is not only one of the safest communities in the country, but the safest community in the country. So that'll tell you something, that it's a pretty safe community. Not to suggest there isn't those crimes and hijackings that of cars that doesn't happen.
Hmm.
But the police, their budgets have increased significantly. Now, if you start talking about percentage, you can do all kinds of weird and wonderful things with percentages. As an example, if you got $100 million and it goes up 10%, well, you know what that is? It's $10
Hmm.
million increase, and that's the types of things that we've been talking about. So, where jurisdiction for policing comes in at the regional level, I've been critical of the increases in the cost of policing, but the majority of regional council has supported that, and that's probably one of the reasons why crime is at the lower level compared to some of the major municipalities in the Greater Toronto Golden Horseshoe area. So policing is at the regional level,
Hmm.
and there was just a brand new police station opened, as a matter of fact, right on the border of Milton and Halton Hills. They'll serve North Halton, so there was millions of dollars spent on that new service, and of course, there'll be more, as I refer to them, boots on the ground. We'll see more
Hmm.
police presence in Milton, and of course, North Halton is Acton and Georgetown and the rural areas, and it's a large rural area as well.
I'm just going to go on my camera for our viewers tonight who are watching us live. Viewers, we have the Honorable Mayor Gordon Krantz with us from Milton, and the municipal elections are on the way. We are in August now, and October 26th election is going to be happening. If you live in the riding, and this is the rule how you can vote, you need to be 18 plus age, Canadian citizen and need to be living in that in that area. There are 4 different wards: 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is how you can vote. You can also vote online as well. And there will be some advanced polls will open. I believe I got the dates for advanced poll, Mr. Mayor, and that is on the 12th and the 15th of October. I believe that's advanced polls that people can do the advanced polls. Now, one thing is really kind of shocking to me when I was going through some details today, that there are 7 candidates who have put their name forward for the mayor, and there are 39 candidates who are running. How do you feel about that? You feel this is exciting that a lot of people are coming forward and putting their name forward for the ballot?
Well, and not that I think that is exciting. I think it's critical for democracy.
Hmm.
I'm really pleased to see that there's that many individuals that are sincere. And of course, if you're running for office, I guess you have to ask yourself and ask that candidate, are you doing it for all the right reasons? So that's the question that really should be asked. Are you doing it for personal reasons? Are you doing it for, the glory of it? Or are you doing it for to help the citizens? And those are the questions you have to ask those individuals. Why are you doing it? Are you doing it for just a job? Are you
Hmm.
doing it because you're sincere? And I'm really pleased to see. And I checked just a day or two ago, the last that I was, or now I'm talking about, not only there's 8 individuals running for mayor, and that includes myself, total
Oh,
of 8.
there's one more. I thought there were 7.
Well, well, 7 running against me,
Okay,
if you
7
want to
against
be.
you. Okay, okay. So
So there's a
that
total
makes it
of,
8. Right.
yeah, total of 8 running for
Yeah.
mayor.
Now
And the last,
you have sitting regional councillor also who have put their
yeah,
name forward to run for the mayor this time. Do you
yeah,
feel any pressure with the way you operate, the way you work? Do you feel
none,
okay?
none whatsoever. As a
Yeah,
matter of fact, I've got 2 of my present setting colleagues running for that
yeah,
position. 2
yeah,
of my present. So, one thing I can assure you, let's just assume, and of course, nominations close on August 21st.
yeah.
Up until then, you will not know for sure total numbers, but just let's assume that what you and I know today, and I'm talking about the mayor's position, that 8 of us is running,
Mm-hmm.
and 2 of my incumbents are running against me.
Correct.
I can automatically tell you there's going to be at least 2 new faces, and Councillor Melbooth, who's sitting on council presently, he's decided he's not running. So it's a 9-person council right now.
Mm.
So I can assure you, I can guarantee you, there's going to be at least 3 new faces on council out of a 9-person council. And who knows, could be more. You never know. But for sure, there'll be 3. Because assuming that my two incumbents and myself leave our names stand, there'll
Mm.
be definitely 3 changes on council. So those are some of the things
Well,
that's
I think
about to
that's the
happen.
beauty of Canada, the diversity and the multiculturalism we have. People have the
Totally support.
opportunity to put their name forward and run for elections.
Yeah.
And I had taken that liberty myself. I ran for member of parliament, so I know the process. I know how it goes through, and you learn through the process so much. And then, like again, like you just said, you need to have the love and the passion to serve the community. And if that is there, whether you win or not, you gotta keep on trying. And that's the beauty of the democracy is in this country.
Definitely doing it for all the right reasons. That's the critical part of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you 100%.
But, getting back to the numbers, the last I checked, school boards, council, mayor, I think it was roughly 42 or 44 people
Yeah, probably they have
running.
gone up now.
Yeah.
Last I
It,
checked, there were 39 of them. So, but like you just said, they're adding on before August
changes.
21st. Now,
Yeah.
what I want to ask you is, Mayor Krantz, a couple of things importantly, as you know, the community is growing. There's a lot of multicultural community like Pakistani, Arab community. They're all living there now quite a bit. Are there any more lands for the mosques, or for religious establishments that you think that you as a mayor had, came forward and said, okay, these are the lands available, and these can be, this stuff could be built here. It could be a mosque, could be a church, it could be a mandir, or it could be anything. And similarly with the parks. So, would you want to put a little light on that? Obviously, the community is growing so much, and like you just said, maybe by another 10, 15 years, it can go up to 300,000 people, right?
I can assure the public as well that lands are already set aside for those
Mm.
parks that you had just mentioned. I can also share with the public out there that there's lands already set aside for those institutes that you had mentioned,
Mm.
and not only churches, mosques, but also lands are set aside for future schools, both high schools and public schools, both public and Catholic. Lands are already set aside for that
Okay.
in future development here. Now, the odd part of it is, and of course, when we talk about schools and parks, those are purchased as well or contributed to or donated by the development community to school boards, and or school boards quite often have to buy them. But parks as an example, and I'll just use this just to illustrate. If there's a 100-acre development, we need at least 3 or 4% of that 100 acres set aside for whether it be one major park or two or three smaller parks, and that's donated to the community. Now, when it comes to religious institutes such as churches and mosques, those lands are set aside, but they also have to buy them. And of course,
Mm.
make no mistake, land in Milton is very, very expensive. So they're there, but you got to pay the price for it, fortunately
Mm.
or unfortunately. But that, our capitalist system that we live in. So,
Now,
but they're available.
do you feel, Mr. Mayor, any shortcomings that you want to overcome, which you have not been so far all these years?
Well, I don't know. How do you improve on perfection? That might sound kind of cheeky on my part. Very hard to do. But people are not coming to Milton because of me. And I've said it already. They're coming to Milton because it's a well run municipality.
Mm.
And we've got green space, we've got good education stuff. And it's the lifestyle that people are looking for. And we got that lifestyle here. And again, at the sound of sounding cheeky, you can always improve things, and I've always attempted to do that. But Milton is a great community, and it'll continue to be a great community if I have anything to do with it, and I will.
What would be your message tonight to the viewers of Voice of Toronto TV who are watching you live, and something you want to say to them for this upcoming election, and invite them over to Milton to see how Milton is?
Yeah. Well, my door is always open, and as you're well aware, I've always had that open door concept. Anybody that wants to talk to me or make their views known are always more than welcome. If you find a person that I refuse to meet, let me know who they are, and I'll tell you they're lying to you, because I've not refused to meet with anybody.
You've been
But as
very
far as
inviting. Yeah.
yeah, but as far as I'm concerned, the message that I want to leave with our listeners tonight: get out and vote.
Yeah.
Do your homework.
Correct.
Don't listen to all the political spin that goes on by politicians like me and wannabe politicians. Because, the odd part of it is, and I refer to this time of the year as a silly season. And it is. It is a silly season, but that's democracy. And I'm fully supportive of it. As politicians like me get a little silly, wannabe politicians get a little silly, equally, there's a small majority of the population out there gets a little silly as well. The day after the election, guess what? Everything goes back to normal. So, but that's
Yeah.
democracy. I would never change it.
Mr. Mayor, I really appreciate your time, and I will talk to you again near the elections, or maybe right after the elections, when whenever it seems to be doable for both of us. And I
Good.
wish you all the very best, sir. Thank you so much for
Well,
joining, and
I
thank you for
thank
your
you
time.
very much, and thank you to all of our listeners out there in TV land. That's what it's all about, getting the message out there, what
Yeah,
democracy is all about. And thank you to TV Toronto for this
thank you, sir.
great thumbs up
Thank you
interview.
very much. Thank you, Mr. Grants. Thank you. Bye bye. Bye for now. व्यूअर्स ये थे हमारे साथ मेयर गोर्डन क्रैंस मिल्टन से, और 8 कंटेंडर हैं मेयर के लिए. ऑलमोस्ट 40 कैंडिडेट्स हैं. दे रनिंग फॉर डिफरेंट counselors, regional counselors, school trustees, and all those kind of things. For you to vote, you need to be 18 plus, need to be living in Milton, and also need to be a Canadian citizen. अपना ख्याल रखें. फीडबैक के लिए voiceoftorontotv@gmail.com. और अगर आप एडवर्टाइज़ करना चाहें हमारे साथ वॉइस ऑफ टोरंटो टेलीविज़न पे, हमारी आवाज़ जहाँ जहाँ तक जाती है, वी कैन बी वेरी इंस्ट्रूमेंटल इन द ग्रोथ ऑफ योर बिजनेस. उसके लिए आप प्रोग्राम के बाद मुझसे रब्ता कर सकते हैं. 416-786-4881. टिल नेक्स्ट टाइम, अल्लाह हाफ़िज़. अस्सलाम वालेकुम.